Hello, everyone. This is Aman again with some other guests. Today we have some amazing guests. These are Isheka Agarwal from Harvard University, Rudmila from New Oxford, right? And
Yeah.
Faysal bin Shakawat from Khulna University. And these three young, energetic leaders, they are from various universities, but from one perspective, they are from Yes Project, right? So I would like to welcome you all to our show. This is very important to inform you that we have uh, 4,000 campus ambassadors at English Olympiad. They are all leaders, and we got 50,000 participants last year who came to face selection round, and from selection round we got 5,000 participants to face theater round, and from there we got 500 students to join at grand finale in Dhaka. So it was a huge round, and this time we would like to encourage all the students and leaders in this pandemic time. This is important to make them energetic and keep them live. So that's why I would like to call you all to come and join at our English Olympiad live show. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
So,
Aman.
and I'd like to just start the introduction session. So we can talk both English and Bengali. It doesn't matter. We can share our feelings because we are talking a majority of Bangladeshi people. We have to talk in many ways. So it's open for you all. I know you are very, very expert in English and both Bengali in English. So I'd like to start from Ishika. You'd like to introduce yourself, say something about yourself and your activities, then would like to come to Rudmila, then Faisal. Please
Yeah.
start.
Hello, everyone. I'm Isheka Agarwal. I grew up in Dinajpur, Bangladesh, where I completed both of my O levels and A levels. However, I studied 11th grade of my high school in America as an exchange student through this YES program. And now I am a rising sophomore at Harvard University and studying applied math with data science.
Okay, thank you very much, Ishika. Now we'd like to go to Rudmila.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi everyone, I am Rudmila Islam. I'm from Noakhali and I just came back completing my YES exchange program from New Oxford, Pennsylvania. And currently I'm a 12th grade student in Noakhali Government College in Noakhali. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Rudmila. We have Faisal.
Greetings, everyone. I am Faysal bin Shakawat. I was an ES student way back, and I was placed in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. It's near Hershey. Maybe you have heard about the Hershey's syrup and Hershey's chocolate. So I used to live quite near to the Hershey's chocolate factory. And I did study in the US in the high school. Later on, I came back and I am currently studying in Khulna University. I'm studying business. At the same time, I am also an expert in ASL, English as a Second Language, and I'm also a teacher trainer. So I teach teachers around the world about how to effectively teach English. So that's it for now. Hope to interact more with you guys.
Thank you very much, Faisal. Faisal is also the coordinator of Khulna division at English Olympiad. So he was running everything amazingly. So we'd like to start from Ishika again. And we got a lot of questions from our students, our leaders, our campus ambassadors, how YES project or YES program works. And we know that this is KLES programs, right? So how you define it and how our students can prepare for this kind of projects.
Yeah. So KLES program, it's basically a program which was started by two U.S. senators, Senator Kennedy and Senator Lugar. And they started it after 9/11. and to bring students from Muslim majority countries to America, to break stereotypes and encourage cultural immersion. So in Bangladesh, usually there are 29 students selected usually every year. And yeah, no matter which curriculum you come from, you can apply to this program. And yeah, do you want me to talk more about the program, like selection process? Or we can get into that
So,
later.
yeah, Faisal, would you like to share something about selection and everything? I'm sorry, getting
Well,
call.
before selection, I think the audience needs to understand more about the plot of this program. So how it started and why they started it, because it takes, I mean, millions of dollars to take each year to take every students from each country and have them stay there. And so to start off, I'm gonna just initiate a little story about the exchanges. Okay, so the first exchange happened in a way that, you see, in the First World War, the U.S. did not actively participate, right? So, but they did provide support to the European countries who were in the midst of war during those days. Now, so one service called the American Field Service, AFS, they sent doctors and ambulance service to Europe, and they worked there. But one thing struck their mind, and it was that they saw that they were hearing a lot of propaganda about the war while they were in the U.S., but actually the people weren't that different than themselves. Okay, so they started to dig in more, and they started to understand that people were just they were just living their lives. At that time, the war struck, and everything was devastated. So they started to understand that if they could show the pictures that they were seeing to the people back home, it would be better to understand the human relationships that we all commonly share. Now, with that perspective, they thought that these students that were studying in different parts of Europe, they were the same students. They were just kids. They did have parents. Now they might be separated from their parents due to the war. Some were recruited into the military as well. So they thought if they could bring one student from Europe and have them stay in the US, and the one student from the US could stay there so that they could share their experiences with their natural parents and the host parents over there. So they actually went in and started this thing. And from there, the first exchange started. So after that exchanges, the community around those places started to think differently, and they were debunking a lot of stereotypes that they were seeing in their media and newspapers at that time. Now, this organization, AFS, still exists now and still runs a lot of the international exchanges till now. So that was the first exchange. Now, the KLES program, the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program, did come up after the event of 9/11. So these two senators, Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Lugar, they thought that if they could again initiate these exchanges between the Muslim populated countries, maybe the American people who used to hate the Muslims because there were a lot of stereotypes going on in there, if they could start the exchanges again, maybe it would help the Americans understand that that's not actually true. Maybe some people did some heinous acts, but you cannot blame all of them at the same time. Now, at the same time, in the Muslim communities around the world, hate was being created about the US, right? So they thought it would be a very good idea to initiate two-way exchanges. But people were to initiate a two-way exchange in the Muslim countries was very difficult at that time. So they started the one-way exchange, and in 2001, the YES program started. with the help of Mr. Kennedy and Lugar, who were senators at that time. And in Bangladesh, I believe the first YES program started in 2004. So that was the background of that study. And remember, it's a cultural exchange program as well. So you're supposed to exchange cultures at the same time, study in a US high school and live with a US host family.
Thank you, Faisal. Now we'd like to go to Rudmila. We are getting a lot of questions from the students and the viewers that how to apply for ES project and how you applied for ES project. I would like to listen from Rudmila.
Okay, so for applying for the YES program, there are actually like 4 steps during the application process. So they are actually like the preliminary application. Then we have the phone interview. After that, we have the English language test, or we call that the ELTIS test. And for the final round, we have the group interview and the individual interview. So yeah, so for the preliminary application, like there are some recruiting organizations in different countries who actually like does the whole application process for the students from that country. And for Bangladesh, we have the IRBD office. So each year during, I guess, I believe it's like during October or November, they print out the application form. Yeah, with the application form mainly consists like the questions from our background, our academics, our extracurriculars, and why do you want to get like be a part of the scholarship. And after that, we have the phone interview. So for the phone interview, they also ask questions about the program, about our background, and about some like cultural questions about our heritage and about our country. So, so that for the third round, there is like the English language test. We called it the English language test for international students, which is basically held in Dhaka. And after that, there is like the interview round. So first we have to go through the group interview. After that, we have to go through like the individual interview. So when you are done with all the process, like all your results are sent to like the Washington DC, so that they can like evaluate your result and then publish the finalist and alternative list of the people selected for the program. And yeah, it kind of actually takes time. So I guess for me, it was around March or April when I got my result. So yeah, it was amazing.
So thank you very much, everyone. We got a bit of process. So now, why the program is important? Ishika, you are studying now at as a sophomore. Yeah, I see that you are as a sophomore, and why this is called sophomore, and why you are studying at Harvard, and some are studying at another places. So there are various things happening here, and I know that you are now in New York. So what's going on there, and how you are studying, how you get subjects and universities? Can you describe it, please?
Yeah. So when I came here for a change program, I like I think this program acted as a big, like as a huge confidence booster for me, because where I come from, like from Dinajpur, I wasn't really involved in a lot of activities. Like I don't think I ever stayed at any place without my parents. And then I was 15-year-old when I came here in the US, and I was living with a completely like new family. So I think that was phenomenal in the beginning. It was also challenging because it was a huge transition from our culture to this American culture. But then when I came here, every students get a host family to live in, because this program is mainly for 15 to 17-year-olds, and they're all minors when they come to the US, so they cannot live by themselves. They need a host family. And most of the host family who participate in this program, they are very much willing to like participate in this cultural exchange. They're doing it, like a lot of people think that there's like this myth that host families get money to do it or something, but this is a completely volunteering program. That it shows their willingness just because they participate in this program, that how much willing they are to help the students all around the world. So my host family was also really, they helped me transition. And the school I went to, there were like huge amount of opportunities. For example, like the school I come from Dinajpur, there were like no clubs and organizations, but the one I had in America, there were more than 100 clubs and organizations. So it was overwhelming in the beginning, but then I felt that I quickly want to get involved into as many activities as I wanted to, as I thought this is just like my only chance. And then throughout the year, my teachers, my mentors, they helped me grow a lot and get involved in more like leadership and community service events. And then during that year, I also got the opportunity to like travel in the US a lot. With my host family, I also like visited Massachusetts, specifically like Cambridge, where I got to like visit these two institutions like MIT and Harvard. And then I realized that this is something like I can possibly do. Like maybe I don't know I will get in or not to these universities, but I thought it doesn't hurt to give a shot. At least this is what I feel like YES program taught me, is that no matter how hard your challenge is, it is always like it doesn't hurt you to try. So when I returned to my country, I realized that, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to go back to the US and continue my undergrad. Like, first, I want to finish my high school in Bangladesh, and then I want to continue my undergrad in the US. And so I quickly tried to complete my A levels in Dinajpur, and then started applying to American institutions at the same time. And yeah, thankfully, I got into this amazing institution last year. I recently I completed my first year at Harvard, and now I'm going to start my second year from September. So yeah, that's basically my journey.
Thank you very much. I know that you are studying at applied mathematics, right?
Yeah,
And
so
data science, right?
yeah, I haven't declared my major yet, but hopefully I'm going to study applied math with a focus on data science.
Thank you very much. And of course, best wishes from English Olympiad. And as
Thank you
we
so
come to know
much.
that you are connected with English Olympiad Dinajpur team, and we have many people here from Dinajpur, Rangpur, Rajshahi, Norsingdi, Silat, Dhaka, Chittagong, Narayanganj, and many more people. And I would like to request everyone, who are you watching from Oyo? You can mention your address and your area. We would like to mention and shout out here. So I would like to go to Faisal. Faisal is working a huge job. He's training people all over the world, especially training teachers. So how you get involved and how you are developing other teachers also, and what is your suggestion for our students to involve this kind of programs?
So actually, this urge for community service and voluntary service came from the YES program. So um, when I went to the YES program, I immediately got involved myself in community work, in voluntary services. So and it is the feeling of helping others, not only keeping your knowledge, not only keeping your services to yourself, but helping others, that actually struck my mind. And from then on, I mean, I, when I just came back from the YES program in Bangladesh, I used to do, uh, I mean, at least one community service each month. And from there, I started developing some skills. I started also. One thing to mention is that the YES program also offers students three professional development programs, and one is on English teaching, one is on civics, and the other is probably on um, debunking religious stereotypes. I don't know whether the third one is still on or not, but the initial two is currently ongoing. So I was part of the English teaching program. It's called it is called it used to be called Wilty. Now it is called Violet. And from there, I gathered all the knowledge to teach ESL and English as a second language. And there, I thought if I was teaching people, I could only reach to a certain amount of people, a certain number of people. But if I could train the teachers, I could reach out, I could share my services, I could train more people so that they could go on to help more students around the country. So thereon, I applied for some grants that is specific to my program with the State Department, and I got them. I used to start training the teachers, and at the same time, the Yes Alumni Bangladesh, they have some funds as well. So I started applying for them. Started doing a lot of community service. Now it all started from the Yes program. It created the urge in me. It showed me the path, how a single person can help the community and we can improve the world altogether. And also through the professional development programs, I got the skills and experiences to implement those projects as well.
Thank you. Thank you for some. It was good information as we got a lot of information about you also. You are teaching the teachers, and this is important. Hopefully, Ishika and Rudmila also will discuss something better for our teachers also, because teaching to the teachers is very important. Uh, Countries like Bangladesh, right? So this is important, and we'd like to listen from Rudmila. And we got a lot of questions from our audiences. We are live from our YouTube channel and Facebook page. So we have 120,000 followers here, and people are watching, and they're coming and joining. So there is a question: is it difficult to get scholarship from US program? Another one is there any problem you faced at a host family living with them?
Okay, thank you so much. So for the first question, is it hard to get the yes program? So if we look at the statistics, it shows that it is hard to get the yes program. Like according to the statistic, it says that it's kind of harder than getting into Harvard or Yale than getting the yes program. Like only 3% of applicants get the yes program. So from my experience, I would say that I the first time when I heard about the Yes program, I had no idea about it. Like no one in my city even had idea about it. So I was looking through like my Facebook and I was like, oh okay, studying in the US for 1 year fully funded. Is it even real? Like that was my first thought. And the more I started talking to other people, like I don't blame them because no one knew about this that much in my area, and they were like, I think you should not apply for the scholarship because they might be part of the human trafficking circle. So that was funny, really funny, and my mom, like, she has been really supportive to me for everything that I've done in my life. So after hearing that, she was like, it becoming like very protective. She was like, don't you talk about this ever again. So at that very moment, I was like, I should give it a try because I heard all their stories, all their background about the program. I was like, there's, I have nothing to lose while I'm trying for this. So yeah, I tried for this on my own, and for me, it wasn't really hard because I think you just need, you have to believe in yourself that yes, if I want this, I will try my best to achieve that. So with that in mind, I believe that if you try hard, then anyone can have it. And for the second question, like if we face any problem with the host family, so I would say like it depends because it depends on how much understanding you have with your host family. So with my previous host family, I would say that there wasn't really a good understanding, but with my then host family, like with whom I spent like the most of my exchange year, we had like the perfect connection. So some of the issues that like exchange students like us face while going to the US is about food. Like the whole diet is changed over there. So a lot of people have a hard time to get adjusted to that. So that is one of the problem. And also most of the Americans from my experience are not really used to like spices, like the smell of it or the taste of it. So yeah, sometimes you might face trouble if you want to cook some Bangladeshi food, but yeah. my whole family was really nice and they let me cook a lot of Bangladeshi foods. And another issue I would say is that like when you go to like a new platform, like living with a whole new bunch of people as a part of their family, yeah, you might feel a little bit of nervous while going to them, like meeting them for the first time. You're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna live with you guys. But by time when you keep talking to them, when you talk about yourself, when you learn about them, you just create that understanding, that bond, and that kind of just solves all the problems that you might face during your exchange year. So one advice, just if you face any problem, just talk to your host family or like with anyone, talking helps.
Thank you very much. It was important to know, and food problem is a great problem at the beginning, of course, and understanding is important. And we are practicing here emotional intelligence. We are practicing social other intelligence that is very important to cope with a new family, of course. As they are prepared, I was listening from a host family and they were talking about their pride. And as Senator Lugar died last year, right? And he was talking and thanking the host families who are exactly making a pride for the country. Not only for American people, we can also plan many more things in our country, right? Whenever we are going to be developed countries, one of the developed countries, of course, we have hope for future. So now I'd like to go to Ishika as she's from Dinajpur. People think that you have to be in Dhaka, Chittagong, or big cities. Many people in our country think that we have to move to Dhaka. Dhaka is everything. So you are in Dinajpur. It's a district city. I know Dinajpur is a great place. Of course, I was visiting Rangpur, but at evening I went back to Dinajpur to enjoy Haji Danish Bigan and Project Science and uh, Technology University. So it was amazing to live there. Of course, food and everything. So how you managed things, and of course for everyone, because Rudmila from Noakhali, Faisal from Khulna, and they all are living there, of course, now. So I would like to listen from Ishika.
Uh, yeah, it's an amazing question. I get this question from a lot of people. So if I want to begin with all of my extracurriculars, so even before my exchange program, I used to participate in different Olympiads like Math Olympiad, Junior Science Olympiad. And even if you, when I used to win at the regional stage, I had to go to the national stage. So for every national stage, I had to go to Dhaka. And for that, I had tremendous support from my parents who always used to like take me to Dhaka every time I needed it. And then for Yes program, so for as Rudmila explained the selection process, that there are 4 stages. So for the first 2 stages, you don't really need to go to Dhaka. You can do it from your home. But as you're qualified on your phone interview round, you need to go to Dhaka to take the LTIS exam, the English proficiency test, and then for interview, you'd also need to go to Dhaka. So I had to go to Dhaka like repeatedly. It was definitely overwhelming sometimes, but then I felt that I have to do this. Like, there's no way my family can like move to Dhaka. And then when I returned from my exchange, I faced this huge challenge of completing my A levels. So there's this tradition in Dinajpur that when students complete O levels, they go to Dhaka to pursue their A levels because there are not a lot of resources available for A levels in Dinajpur. And for me, I couldn't do that. My family, like, it wasn't just the financial obstacle. It was also my parents didn't want me to live in Dhaka by myself, like in a crime-ridden city. So I was getting hopeless that how am I going to do it in Dinajpur? Like I didn't have any like ideal role model before me who completed A levels from Dinajpur successfully. But then I felt that if nobody had done it in the past, that doesn't mean that I cannot do it. And I had I had tremendous support from my local teachers, from my parents, and they like always pushed me. So and I decided to like finish A levels in 1 year in Dinajpur. And yeah, I think it was definitely challenging when you try to do something when there is not a lot of resources available. But like I think you can always manage it. And uh, even if you are like from cities like from small towns like Dinajpur or like Noakhali, you can always like use internet as your like big resource. Like I think I used that a lot when I was doing A levels. Like I used to watch videos from YouTube to teach myself besides reading books. So yeah, even coming from like small town, you shouldn't like give up your hope. If you don't have a lot of resources, you should always reach out to people who have been successful in the past, so that you know how to like build your own path. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We all have to chase our passion, our dream, wherever we are. Okay, so this is the important fact, and this is the time of internet, and we can get every access. Many are asking about are the yes program is starting this year, and many has other questions like from which age should we apply for yes program and this kind of questions. So we have a link here from English Olympiad page. You can see learnbd.org, KLES program. And another website is open for all. This is yesprograms.org, right? So you can go there, you can study a lot of things. There are a lot of videos and a lot of host family experiences and the participants experiences there. And we'd like to share this video also for everyone who are interested to know. So thank you very much, Ishika. Now I'd like to go to Faisal. Faisal, you um, did the project some years ago and you are now teaching people, you have experience. Do you think that extracurricular activities can make our students prepare for international activities like YES project, other things? So what is the suggestion for them who are doing this kind of jobs?
So before I begin on that, I want to add two more things. One is the YES program is definitely a competitive program. So you need to be an all-rounder, there's no doubt, and you need to have very good grades. But the minimum required is you need to have B grade for your current study year. If you're applying this year for the current study year and the previous 2 years as well, at least minimum B and no failing grades. But it is suggested that you have top-notch results as well, along with extracurriculars, which I will come to later. One question I saw from the comments was that, is it happening this year? So I do have confirmation for you guys that it is not happening this year in August. Okay, so it was supposed to happen in August. State Department just announced that we're not having it during the August due to the pandemic, but there is a possibility of happening it in late fall this year or probably next year for sure. So no directions as to what is going to happen this year. But now let's come to the extracurriculars. So extracurriculars are no doubt develop the student to become a better person, to apply for jobs as well. But the YES program also looks for people with various skills. Okay, so you just heard from the other from Isheka and Rudmila that it is very difficult. If you factor in the acceptance rate, it is even more difficult to get into Harvard University. So now, so when you have a lot of people applying, so we always need to select the best of the best, right? So having extracurriculars gives you a different edge to compete with the others. And remember, only 29 people actually get to go to the US. So it's a very slim number. Now, when it comes to extracurriculars, there's no doubt that you're going to have fantastic extracurricular opportunities in the US. Like, you have, even in their schools, you have a lot of programs. Apart from the very a lot of fun programs or fun classes that you can have. Like, two of mine was like wood tech, engineering and prototyping, like other fun stuff like field works, field studies. I'm sure that the other Isheka and Rudmila had some fun classes as well. But having your extracurriculars before you apply really helps a lot. So it doesn't have to be top-notch extracurriculars. Remember, it can be as simple as a simple like cleaning work that you carried on, a cleaning project you carried on in your school as well, right? So remember that yes, to be selected as the yes program, we are looking for your intent to change the world, to benefit the world from your experiences, both here and also in the US. So we expect you to implement your learnings, implement your experiences when you come to Bangladesh. And it's called the best of the both worlds, right? You cannot say that this is good, you cannot say this is bad or worse, but it's just different. Now you need to incorporate all these things when you come back to Bangladesh and help your communities, your own communities. Okay, so having extracurriculars definitely helps you to get selected, but you don't worry that if you don't have too much of extracurriculars in your belt, but it probably helps. And at the same time, we are always looking for your intent to change the world altogether.
Thank you very much, Faisal. But for our campus ambassadors, as we have 4,000 campus ambassadors working for English Olympiad preparation and everything, they are working as a slogan of inspiring leadership. We are giving them leadership certificates, and they have first-hand experience, of course, and they are working hard for making a good nation. So is this kind of activities will help them to face as an extracurricular?
Well, definitely. So English Olympiad is a great program. So I also suggest, apart for the campus ambassadors, that apart from just listing yourself as a campus ambassador of English Olympiad, I do suggest that if possible, you describe what English Olympiad is, whether it is national or international program, what's its purpose, and also your specific projects that you have carried on at your local institution with the English Olympiad. If you can describe all these things properly, it definitely helps. Now, Isheka did have to write an application essay for the Harvard admissions. So she really knows that how important these experiences are and how important it is to describe these things, right?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Extracurriculars, I think, play a huge role. So I think the most important thing about extracurriculars is that students shouldn't take it as something, as a platform to just earn awards and certificates. It should be like more of a platform where you enrich yourself, you build skills that you cannot build in your high school. And I think the type of experiences you can gain from extracurriculars is what makes your story and helps you to present it to college admissions. And I think yes program in that case helped me tremendously to build that story about my background, about my experiences during exchange, and about how I try to make an impact in my community and what I plan on continuing doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Faisal and Isheka. Now I would like to go to Rudmila, and we are getting a lot of questions also, and people are asking what kind of book and what things they should study for YES program. So how people can prepare themselves for YES program? Rudmila.
Okay, thank you so much. So the first thing from my experience, I would say that you have to have like clear idea about the YES program, like what is the program for, what do they want from you, like as both Faisal and Ishikapu like mentioned that like extracurriculars actually play a huge role while getting into the scholarship. I think one of the reasons is that like they look for people who can represent their country, their culture, and their heritage to people from other parts of the world. And these kind of extracurricular activities and the experiences that you get from them is actually like plays a huge role for your self-confidence and your personal growth to represent your culture. So for preparing for the YES program, yes, first of all, you have to have clear idea what YES program is. And the second most important thing is that like you have to have like not real like as you guys mentioned before like top results but a really good like academic results and really good extracurricular experience. And I also get a lot of questions about like how to prepare yourself for like the English language test or like spoken English. So it actually depends on yourself because like you have to study a lot about English. Like like in our school, like in our curriculum, both in Bengali medium and in English medium, we have English. So if we just focus on that and like just try to practice along with it, like while reading the paragraph or like reading the dialogue with your friends, it kind of helps a lot. And another thing I would like to advise is that to listen to like good English movies and like listen to English music because like we tend to enjoy music and movies rather than academics. Like it's the thing. So I think like they help a lot for you to get yourself like used to the English. And for ELTIS, there are actually like four categories for the exam. We have like the reading, we have the writing, we have the essay, and we have the listening. So yeah, we have to like prepare ourselves for that too. And yeah, that's it. And you have to have really good idea about your culture, your heritage, where you're coming from. Like in my case, I was from locally, so I had to have really good idea about my background too, about my country too, because in the end, they want the people who can represent their culture to the Americans. So yeah.
I think Rudmila has some internet problem also. No problem, we can continue. And thank you very much, Rudmila, for describing things very clearly. Now I'd like to go to Ishika again. And what kind of linguistic um, capacity or ability our students should have to apply or face interviews? Sometimes only speaking can help. Sometimes IELTS is important for some university and admissions. So, what is the suggestion for ES programs?
So for yes program, the thing which matters the most is your ability to communicate. So for example, if they select you, it's really important to make sure that you are able to go and communicate with your host family and be able to study in an American high school and keep up with that pace. So that's why they give us this IELTS test. It's commonly known as mini IELTS. So I think if you really want to take this test seriously and want to prepare ahead of time, uh, I would say like start probably practicing some online IELTS exams and see where where you are at, and then starting from your position, you can start developing your like scores. Uh, the skills which matter the most is like listening, reading, and writing. And then speaking one, they test your speaking skills during the interview, during the final interview. Yeah.
So, thank you very much, Ishika. Now, I would like to just request all the viewers again to mention your location. Who are you watching from where? And we would like to take many questions about yes programs and youth leadership and English learning. So I'd like to go to Faisal. As people should know English better, they should apply. Our students, our participants who are watching, some guardians, I can see that here. I would like to mention Salma Jaman. She's also mom of yes program students from Chittagong Presidency International School, and she was one of the participants at English Olympiad, first English Olympiad grand finale. So would like to invite her also in another program with you all. So how our students should be prepared for yes program with English and other things. Faisal, your mic.
All right. So at my time, it was called a different test. It was a SLAP test, but it actually measures your English proficiency. That's it. But so what we look for in the YES program is not top-notch English proficiency. Okay. So if you have fear of getting rejected due to having bad English, that's not going to happen. So you just have to pass that test to let the selectors know that you can communicate in the bare minimum. Okay, so you don't have to have top notch, but having better performance in the English proficiency test helps. Okay, so and remember, every year, many of the top scoring participants from the LTIS test do get rejected because they don't have the other stuff that is needed to become a yes student, and openness is really one of them. And so to prepare, I do think that having an open mind, having an understanding, and being open to the other cultures around the world, respecting their opinions, respecting their culture, really helps build up your mindset. Okay, because remember the final interviews. I don't know about you two, but that was one of the toughest interviews I've ever faced. So in the final interviews, even if you make up some things, you're not gonna be able to deliver those. So the true your mind will speak. So having that mindset before you applying in the YES program helps, and otherwise the actual stuff is going to come out of you. Okay, so so do have the openness and the other good qualities that a human being should have. Okay, so that way you can start preparing. Remember, you need to have good grades as well in your current school, so make sure you do not have a failing grade or any grades below B on average. So that's one thing. And also do get yourself involved in some extracurriculars and community service, because they also look for that, because there's no point in having a YES student when they come back, they just want to go abroad. Okay, so remember, there's a two-way homestay requirement after coming back, but if in dire cases, you can have a waiver for that as well. But remember, so we need to have students who will come back to Bangladesh and implement their learnings to improve their communities, having an impact in their communities. So that's one way to practice. Also, I do suggest that having your teachers and fellow participants involved in your activities before applying to the YES program, because these activities help you communicate better, right? So there's no point in being a great guy, being a smart guy, but not communicating your knowledge or not communicating your intentions in the final interview stages of the YES program. Remember, in the final stage, you're going to have two interviews. One is going to be a group interview. One is going to be an individual interview. So having team building skills, having leadership skills is also necessary. Otherwise, you're not going to perform that well in the group interview stages. So that's that.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much, Faisal. We are getting many questions from students and from our viewers. And there is one, as far as I know, the 2-year homestay is only for applying as an immigrant, right? Is it?
Not really.
It's a
So
question, Faisal.
it's also for the student visas as well. So or even the B1, B2 visas, the business and medical visas as well. So that's a real requirement. But in different cases, that can be waivered. We have had some students waiver that from the U.S. Embassy, and with collaboration with INBT, the governing organization of YES program in Bangladesh. So Ishika, did you have the waiver with you?
So I don't know about how it used to happen like a couple of years ago, but in my case, I don't think I had to apply for any waiver or any such thing. So I think in my case, the 2 year homestay requirement only applied to like immigrant visas. So I applied for student visa, the F1 visa, after I came back, and yeah, I don't think I had to like deal with any such process. It was pretty like as long as the student visa is non-immigrant, it's okay. But they
Well,
do
so
encourage. Oh, I'm sorry, but they
yeah,
do
yeah,
encourage. But they yes program do encourage you to stay. Like encourage you to like fill up this homestay requirement because the whole purpose is that you come back and implement what you learn from exchange program in your home community. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
in
this
2017,
yeah.
when I went to the U.S. again for teaching the teachers around the world in the U.S., we came to the U.S. So I did talk to the U.S. Embassy, and they were very serious about me fulfilling the 2 year homestay requirement, even though I had applied way before 2017. And I also talked to Moni Bhai, the country coordinator of IRNBD. So he said that yes, um, the waiver is not they have stopped giving the waivers, at the U.S. Embassy, and they don't give it as much as they used to before, but they do give it, and it does apply to other visas than the immigrant and the student or the business and tourist visas as well.
Mhm.
So I would like to announce one thing that we have started a Facebook group to study English and practice English called International English Language Club by English Olympiad, and we are practicing a lot of things, especially the IPA listening, the perfect English learning. So who are you watching, and you can enjoy practicing English there, because I'd like to mention one thing. Before practicing IPA for everyone from kids to seniors group at English Olympiad, we faced a lot of difficulties that many teachers, many uh, areas, they are not having the perfect teacher for IPA. Then we included the topic at our English Olympiad preparation book, English Mania. Then students started learning. They are going to teachers, institutions, and they started knocking us how we should teach them, what kind of question you will give them. So IPA is now the most important fact for the teachers who are teaching. And this way, we'd like to introduce something very important for yes programs, for IELTS, for international many programs. Would like to practice them there. Students can join and learn. So I'd like to come to Rudmila. How yes program can help us improving our skills? One question. Another is, um, what is the perfect time for applying or preparing for yes program?
Okay, thank you so much. So for the first question is that how YES program helps you develop your like personal growth. So I would say like the main objective behind the YES program is to represent your culture and to the people of different parts of the country, and as well as to get to know about their culture, about their lifestyle. So for the YES program, as the students go to the US to spend a year going to a US high school, living with the American host family, this actually helps a lot because when we look at the academic part, a lot of countries don't have all the necessary opportunities for students. Even in Nakali, I didn't have like a really good like fun subjects to study. Like we had the like the what should I say like conventional studying subjects. But when I went to the US, I just got to know all these amazing opportunities about studying different subjects. And yes, I think one of the really good thing about Yes program is that like you can actually use those opportunities to improve your knowledge, to get to know about new parts of like science or like business studies or like anything. Another part is that like it kind of boosts your self-confidence a lot, because like when you go to a different country, you have to come out of your comfort zone. You have to talk to people. You have to let them know about yourself. So when you do that in that process, that kind of boosts your personality, and you get this confidence that yes, I do have a voice. I can make friends with people from a different part of the country, which is really amazing. And the most important thing is that like you make bonds with people from a different part of the country. And yeah, starting from your host family to your teachers in your US high school, and then your friends, like these bonds are like you can never really measure how much they mean to each one of us, whoever we went to this year exchange program, because we knew from the before that we have to come back to our country, we have to implement our skills that you have got. But it's always hard because you make this bond with these people. So yeah, you just gain really good self-confidence, you improve a lot in your spoken English, and then your communication skills, you gain a lot of like what should I say, experiences with community service, because it's actually compulsory for every year students to contribute to their American community where they are living. So when you work with these communities or like do volunteering activities, such as in my case, I volunteered in the Great Pumpkin giveaway, like different fairs. I volunteered with the STEM at my high school. I also volunteered with my host family at the foster like clinic where I had like different foster kids and their parents, where I talked about my experiences and my culture. Like these are like all these experiences like really improves you a lot, not only in your academic way, but also improving your soft skills, improving your leadership qualities, and it is just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have got to know a lot of things from Ishika, Faisal, and Rudmila. We will continue learning from you all, and we have many questions, many comments here. I cannot read every comments, but I would like to thank you all for joining. But there are some important matters. Ishika, there is a comment I would like to show, and I would like to have your statement about it, because Sujon Nath, maybe he said, sir, sometimes society puts pressure on someone and gives ignorance to him or her, even the thing is good for the world, and people say that he or she will not be successful. Because maybe he's talking about academic result or perfection and other things. So how we should uh, emphasize on the quality and development of students? What do you think?
In that case, I think I can relate to that case to a huge extent. I Before I applied to Yes program, after coming back, applying to American institutions, I didn't get a lot of support from my society, from my school. Like, not a lot of people could believe like what my goals are, and they always doubted if I would be able to accomplish my goals. But I know it's really hard to stay focused on your goal when you are being discouraged by the society. But if you really want to prove them wrong, you have to keep going. And once you are successful and you look back, and those people will come back and they will show their support. So and that's the fun part of proving them wrong. So whenever they put pressure on you, just keep going, just stay focused on your goals and prove them wrong, and then you will be able to see how they change.
Okay,
Thank you. Um,
uh,
yeah,
I would like to
Rudmila,
add
you
a
can.
little with that. Okay, sorry for interrupting you. Like I can also
No problem.
agree with Chikapu a lot, because I faced a lot of comments while applying for the youth program. Like as I said before, like a lot of people will just literally say it at my face, like they might be a part of the human trafficking circle. Don't apply for that. So, like I heard a lot of comments, and also there were a lot of pressure that we all can relate to. Like when we look at like the public exams, like the SSA exam or like the HSC for like if we, like for this exam, people actually expect you that you will do great in public exams. You will get into a good university in Bangladesh or like anywhere, and then you will get a job. Like this is what like we have been seeing in our society for a very long time. So yes, that does actually like affect our mentality whenever we want to like think about something, but we end up not even trying for that because at that moment we think about the people around us, we think about our family, will they even allow me to be to try for that? If they did, we think about the society, like what will they think, like it actually affects a lot. But as Ishika would say, like we have to keep trying for that because like it's like a gut feeling. Like if you know what you are doing, if you know about the future, what is the outcome of that, you should keep trying for that. Yes, people will make a lot of comments. There are some people who are just like, I think shows a little bit of ignorance, and they're like, I don't care about. And there are a lot of people who doesn't really have a clear idea about your goals, so they just end up saying negative stuff or just becomes neutral and don't really support you that much. So in that case, you just have to keep going for your goal. And once you succeed, once you achieve something from that, you will see people changing their mentality, changing their personality, and showing support to you again. And they will become like really, really glad, and they will like, wow, that is really amazing. And that is the best feeling when you can like change this the kind of negative perspective of people and letting them know that yes, there's positivity in this, and we should all actually keep working on that. And yeah, that is it. Like if I'm just glad that I had like a really supportive mom, and in spite of being a single mother, she has always supported me throughout my whole life. And yeah, I'm just really glad to her for that. And yes, that's it. If you have only at least only one person who supports you, I think the journey becomes a lot more easier for you.
And I would like to add one thing for Sujan and everyone, because some days ago I was talking with a leader from Dubai. She was talking yachts and positive people should be like elephant. Elephant has big uh, ears. They should listen a lot, but they shouldn't respond everything. So that's very important. So you should listen, but you should not respond to everything. You should be careful about openness, and you should focus on your own job. If you focus on others' mentality, others' thinking, others' negligence or everything, you cannot focus on your focus point. So this is important for everyone. Don't focus or don't listen to others, whatever they are talking. But sometimes you have to have some mentors in a good position who understand, who can support you. Mentor is very important also, on the other hand. So thank you, everyone. And we are going to end, but before ending, I would like to take some more questions and comments. Mehzabin Islam, she's from Dhaka. She said, mesmerizing. Now I'm really enthusiastic about yes, thank you at dawn. So many requested to say how to apply, how to start. So at the beginning, we started talking about your yes program. Yes is KL yes programs. You can go to yesprograms.org, and we will give you some more links here at Facebook Live and YouTube Live, so you can get everything. You can download the video from our YouTube channel also. Then you can check your preparation and everything that we talked. So now I'd like to go back to Ishika. So how are you feeling now as a student from Bangladesh, now studying at Harvard, and how you are planning to serve your country? Of course, we would like to have you back in our country to contribute in our country and our education.
Uh, I'm really grateful to get this opportunity to study here at Harvard, and it's been 1 year so far. And in this year, I have like so I think what makes like this college so special to me is not because of its world class education, but because of its people. And like the stories I have heard from people, like it truly touched me, and it also inspires me a lot to give back to my community. So uh, my long term goals are to go back to Bangladesh and start a non-profit organization to empower more women, because that is something I struggled with, and that is something a lot of women struggle with. I was lucky enough to get out of that bubble of gender roles, but a lot of women unfortunately cannot do that, and that is something I want to do in the future. And let's see how it goes.
Thank you, Isheka, and we are, of course, hopeful that you will come with huge knowledge and everything, and of course, you will get many cultural things through the exchange project, of course. Now, I see that this kind of knowledge sharing and a cultural exchange, knowledge exchange program can help other nations to develop and boost development, of course. Now, we need leadership, of course, for our post-pandemic situation. Would like to have this kind of leadership in our country that can help us more, right? So would like to help. Thank you very much for joining, as you are giving us time. But I would like to mention one thing before forgetting the matter. Uh, I'm just here introducing you three in front of the people. So whenever English talented people or participants sometimes would like to knock you, you must say today or tomorrow a hi or support you can, of course, because after the introduction, people will search you. Oh, who is Isheka Agarwal, Rudmila, and Faysal bin Shakawat? Of course, people will search you, and it will be supportive if you can support them today or tomorrow. So this is my request. Sometimes we get that I got a lot of ignorance from many people who are studying abroad. Who I personally got ignorance, and I wanted to know, but they denied it. And I got many kind of responses, but they denied. But after 5 years, they called me for another. Got it? Have you got the point? So this is the facts, and that's why I know that I was trying to publish my book from Double the Publication USA, so I wanted to have many people from there, and their experience I'll share another day. So I'd like to come to Faisal. Faisal, people are too much interested to know if you summarize or make a synopsis of our discussion, how we should start to be a yes program participants and what preparation we should have.
So thank you. Now, to become a yes student, remember, I think we all missed one point, that you need to be 15 to 17 years of age, and that you must study in class 9, 10, or 11. Sometimes 8 is acceptable, but you must apply. Okay, so there's no harm in applying. Maybe they'll sort you out, maybe. Okay, so now, so in order to do that quite well, you need to have the requirements. Okay, first off, you need to meet the eligibility criteria, and one of those is, I don't know whether I think it should not apply to most of you, but still, if you have dual visas, dual immigration visas, or just dual visas, you're not going to be eligible for that. So you cannot be a citizen of two countries at the same time. And there are some other criteria. So if you go to our website, ironbd.org, you'll find all of the criteria over there. And in order to prepare yourself for the program, obviously try to learn communication skills, try to get any other skill as you can. Remember, we're not taking students from a single mold. Okay, so each student is going to be different. Each of the 29 selected students are going to be different each year. They have a various variety of skills. Some of them have won essay writing competitions. Some of them have won Olympiads. Some of them have some of them are just popular in their schools, or maybe have done tons of community work in their community. So there's no selected or a certain criteria. So I do suggest that you just apply, learn from your mistakes. Applying itself is just gaining experience, and to prepare the after the video, after we end the live show, go on back and see what we have all three of us have discussed about preparing for the YES program. So, but I do think that having the right mentality to improve the world, to improve the situations of the world, and remember, it is even more important now due to the pandemic. So having that mindset, having that mentality is more important than any other skill that you can ever have.
Thank you, Faisal. But we have another question or a comment from Abu Nasser Muhammad Sufyan. He said he was an English teacher. He's an English teacher, and he was in TEF project program in USA, and he got Bangla medium students. And Bangla medium students are limited at YES program. So, what is the suggestion for them? This is very important, and I would like to give Rudmila another case also here from Samarud Nahar, and I think you will read the comment and answer this.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. I'd first like to move to Mr. Sufyan's the question. So I'm also from Bangla medium background. So whenever I went to the US and I met another Bangladeshi family when I was on my trip to New York, they were also got surprised. They're like, "Oh, you're not from English medium background. How did you get here?" And I get a lot of questions from my fellow my friends too. Like, is it really possible for people from Bangla medium? So I would say that one of the reasons we don't really see that a lot of Bangla medium students go to this exchange program is that they don't really know about the scholarship in the first place. There's a matter about promoting the scholarship to different high schools, different institutions. So for Bangla medium students, I guess in my city, from my experience, I have never had any promotion for the YES program. So I just learned it from the internet. So for me, I would say there's a matter of promotion, so that a lot of English medium students tend to be more serious about promoting the YES program than the Bangla medium student schools. So that's one point. And another point is that as we got a lot of comments before that, there is a social pressure on people to get good results, get a good job, that kind of pressure. So for Bangladeshi students, as a Bangladeshi student, I also got the pressure a lot. A lot of people told me you're supposed to give a 11th grade exam. Do you really want to do this? So there's this thing. So for that reason, a lot of people, if they want to attend this program, they just end up being I think I should just focus on my academics. There's another thing too. But from my experience, I would say there is not really a quota for Bangla medium students and English medium students for the YES program. It's open for all, and no matter what your background is, you should not really think about that a lot, because if you have what it takes to be a YES exchange student, you should always give it a try. And the second comment from Samar Nahar. Okay, yeah, I can kind of relate to that too, because yeah, I'm also, because of being a Bangla medium student, I hear that comment a lot. So in my case, I was actually glad enough to get GPA 5 throughout my all exams. But yeah, I heard a lot when I didn't get the talent pool grade scholarship. There are two types of scholarships during these public exams. So for I didn't get that, and I heard a lot of people saying oh gosh, what are you gonna do? You should not really as Mr. Aman said, you should be the years of 11. You should not respond to all of that. You should never overthink about that. There will always be people talking about you talking about each one of us, and you should always focus on yourself, believe in yourself, and like I said, you just have to be strong, because yes, things might be bad for you right now, but in the near future, you don't know what happens for you in the future. So you should always be positive about it. And one thing I want to also add for you is that like you should always look for the positivity, even from the darkest times of your life. Like for my case, whenever people were commenting about me, about my everything that I was doing, I took them as like constructive criticism. I look for like, okay, thank you for your comment. What was the reason? Is there something wrong? And sometimes from those bad comments, you kind of learn from that and you become the better version of yourself. So you should always, I know it can be hard sometimes, but you should always stay positive. You should always believe in yourself and you should just keep trying. Like in future, you don't know what waits for all of us. And one thing that we all, like the youth students, learn from our exchange program is that like all the situations that we face in our life, they're like not better, not worse, just different. So you should take it that way. You should never compare yourself to others because we all have have different situations. We all have different privileges, and everything's different mostly. So yeah, just believe in yourself and don't give up your hopes because like we need that hope to go on our life. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Rudmila. That is important. We have to be positive, and the positivity that can give us a real power to improve ourselves. If we can improve ourselves and we can develop ourselves, we can of course contribute in our society and country. And of course, Faisal is here back. Welcome back again, and I would like to listen from you because we are going to end the program, and we'd like to start from Faisal. What is the ending line for the show today? And I have got a lot of inbox at my Facebook account also. The program is very informative. People are very much encouraged from the show. Hopefully, we will arrange many more shows in future time. In this pandemic moment, why we are organizing this kind of program? Because as an educational organization, we are just trying to give our students the main focus. As a student, you should be careful about your health, but you should focus on your future. So, and you can prepare yourself. Right, Rudmila said about result and everything. We should be focusing on our skill development, of course, and everyone is developing their skills in this age. I'm not aged person, but uh, in comparison, in this age, I'm learning web development, I'm learning app development, and I'm also getting some suggestions from junior and many more people. So it's important for everyone to learn skills so that we can develop ourselves. So Faisal, give an ending line, and I'm coming to Ishika and Rudmila again.
So, guys, I do suggest, I highly recommend applying to the YES program, because unless you apply, you'll never know what the experience is like, what it's like to mingle with the different students from around the country, and to meet up with the other alumni and the officials from the US embassy, officials from the Iron BD, officials from other programs as well. So please do apply. Unless you apply, you'll never know. Trust me. So, and even if you have, even if you're afraid to apply, trust me, apply there. You learn a lot of things, even if you don't get selected. So thank you.
Thank you very much. This is very important. I would like to share one thing. In 2008, I got a scholarship from university from England, and that is called that is for law study. Okay, so I was selected from Chittagong. The only person got selected from Chittagong, maybe. And after the selection, after 5 or 6 days later, my father died, and I had to take the handle of my family, and I couldn't go there, and I left the job. But whenever I met with people from there, I faced the interview. It was sweating interview, of course. They were asking me a lot of things, but whenever I was sharing my experiences working for orphans and other people and children, they were amazed, and they stood and they just gave me a thumbs up. And They supported me a lot, and it was made me a great feelings. And this is very important. So facing interview, facing this kind of programs can give you energy, and it can help you to go forward. I couldn't go there, but I managed to uh, understand that I have something that I can lead. So that is very important. I would like to go to Ishika. So what is the ending line and inspiration for the youths of our country and leaders and students?
So during this pandemic, I'd say a survival is like a survival should be your first priority
You
before
are
doing
now in
anything.
Europe.
Yeah, I am currently in New York City right now, which is kind of like the hub of coronavirus. But now things are getting cooled down. The number of cases are decreasing, so which is a good thing. The businesses are opening up. But however, so for students in Bangladesh, I think after taking care of yourself and focusing on self-care, you use this time as an opportunity to learn as much as you can, build your technical skills. There are ton of online resources. You can take like world-class courses from edX, Coursera. There are multiple platforms like that where you can build your skills. I know a lot of people cannot go out and work for, like companies and like, interact with people daily, but you can sit at home and learn these things. And then, yeah, and even for Yes program, I would highly encourage students if they're interested in applying, go to the Yes program's official website and read about like student stories. I remember this is something I did before applying. This is what like excited me most when I read the stories, and I was like, wow, this is like so life changing for the students, and I could like just picture myself in their shoes. And I think that like really helped me a lot and learn more about this program and help me with the openness and flexibility. So yeah, and it was a pleasure being here and talking with you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ishika. And before going to our studio, we'd like to go to studio after hearing from Rudmila. What is your ending line and suggestion for students and everyone?
Okay, so first of all, we all should actually take care of ourselves, of our health, because during this COVID-19, we really need to take care of ourselves and our loved ones, our family members, and do whatever it takes to keep ourselves safe. And yeah, after actually reading a lot of comments today, I would say another thing is that like when life gives you lemons, just make lemonade out of it. Like we all face a lot of bad stuff in our life. Like we should always be positive about that. We should keep trying about it. We should not give up hope from that. So it's really important to stay strong, to believe in yourself, and keep trying and keep doing whatever you think you will do the best. And yes, as Ishikapu and both Faisal Bhaiya, I would say like yes, you should obviously try for yes program. If I listen to other people and believe that yes, it is a man human trafficking circle, I would have never imagined what yes program is actually like. So it's actually a blessing for me, and I would say like you will never know unless you try. And for like building up your skills, as Ishikabu mentioned, there's internet is like full of a lot of opportunities for skill development, to having your new hobbies and just use them during this lockdown, like focusing on your academics as well as focusing on all these extracurriculars. Also, as Awan Bhai has mentioned, there's also a club for English, like English language club. So you all can join that too. Like improving that, I believe that that is a good like opportunity to improve your English language skills. And yeah, like use every single opportunity that life gives you. Don't be shy, and then believe in yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, and that's it. Stay positive. And thank you so much again for giving me this opportunity to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thank you for joining with English Olympiad Yacht Show. This is the second episode of Yacht Talks. So I would like to organize many more shows in coming days. Hopefully, we'll come together to share a lot of things. And this is important to inform people to know and to encourage. So thank you very much for joining today. I'm so glad to have you three here. A special thanks to Faisal for collaborating everything. And I would like to thank Abdullah Al Zafri for offering the show. He organized everything. He contacted with you all, and I would like to thank him for doing so. And Isheka Agarwal, thank you for your time and joining. Rudmila, thank you very much for joining and giving your time. I'd like to thank you three and your family members who are giving you the opportunities to spread your opportunity for knowledge and everything. So that is very important, and we would like to share many more things in next time. We are here on live 1 hour and 25 minutes. So this is very important. I'd like to thank everyone who are commenting here, who are just watching us here. And English Olympiad is organizing many shows. So we have tongue twister show, too much popular among the guardians and students right now, and we have Yacht Talk. We are organizing some leadership show. Many national and international figures are coming in this show. So we are just trying to keep people alive with knowledge and everything. Thank you for joining today. Thank you all. Goodbye for today.